FedEx full, we commanding the block. Burgundy and gold, got the city on lock. Hustling plays, they don't need to pretend. DC reppin' strong and we fight to the end. Commanders moving, no breaks, no pause. Hands in the dirt, respecting the call. K-Dot in the mid, dissect the grind. District divider with city in mind. Join the damn squad, don't miss a bit. And you gotta spread the words, or shit is shit. K-Dot.
Welcome, everyone, to District Divided, a DC sports podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. And this episode, it is a potential repeat of the Hail Mary. Hopefully not. We are playing the Chicago Bears on Monday Night Football. And the stakes could not be higher after the Eagles just dropped their game against the New York Giants, first place in the NFC East on the line. So we preview that matchup, our offense against their defense, their offense against our defense, our predictions in the comment mailbag, as we always do. Before we begin this episode, if you could please like the video, subscribe to the channel, hit the notification bell, comment, as you always do, and K-Dot.
Monday Night Lights, the stage is lit. I guess do that.
Do that. Please do all of that.
I don't know what I'm not in charge of programming anymore.
Okay. All right. Well, without further ado, why don't we go ahead and get into it? Please do that. So once again, the Chicago Bears come to us to Northwest Stadium on Monday night. Actually, a doubleheader on Monday night. The Bills and Falcons also playing. But we play the later one at 8:15 Eastern time at Northwest Stadium. And so as we always do, we begin with the context around the game in the form of the injury reports. We're going to go over to that right now. And you can see that because it's a Monday night game, we only have 1 day of information so far. So there's going to be a little bit of speculation as we're doing this episode. But you could see that Terry did not practice. Now, it does sound like he was on the field on the side, but did not practice. You can see Chris Rodriguez hasn't practiced with the calf. Debo, zero reason to be worried about him because he did this last week as well. And then a couple limiteds and Jayden full. Sam Cosmi maybe returns for this one. Might be a bit too soon, but that's the Commander side of things. Let's go over to the Bears, K-Dot, where you can see a longer list. But you're also going to notice the double asterisks by Thursday, meaning they just basically estimated their practice. They didn't actually practice. Jaquan Brisker does not practice. If he doesn't play, that would be great for us. The other name, Darnell Wright, who's a starting tackle for them, has not practiced. And then Kyler Gordon will be back. We got confirmation of that. And TJ Edwards also going to be back. Got confirmation on those names. The big name for them that's missing is Jaylon Johnson, their top corner, who's been having a fantastic year. And so that's the injury report. Let's go ahead and talk about number 5, Jayden Daniels and this Commanders offense against this Chicago Bears defense. K-Dot, on this side of the ball, it's pretty well known that the Bears do not stop the run particularly well, and we are excellent with the run, so that's a very obvious piece of this, but I know there's a lot more on the passing side as well. The floor is yours. What are you looking to exploit? What are you a bit worried about over here? Go ahead.
Yeah, every week I'm kind of messing with the format of like how it is I want to display the information. And it's like as I go through the game film and as I start looking at like the stats and the insights and everything, it feels as though every week it comes out just a little bit different. So like I think the way that I broke this down is like, all right, even backing up the context. So there's more context to this game, right? Outside. You alluded to it this last episode, the Ben Johnson of it all, the Caleb Williams, Jayden Daniels of it all. There's the Hail Mary from hell for those guys last year. Like there is so many things fitting in this particular game that there's like, I expect emotions and everything to be pretty high. So first and foremost, just looking at that context, Jayden, calm the fuck down. All right. We're going to start with that. Calm the fuck down. Chill. All right. If somebody needs to slip him a little something before the game just to keep that mood down, you got to figure it out. So what we don't want is some of those balls that like sail early on and like he's a little off. Because if there's one thing the Chicago Bears defense likes to do is take the ball away. And we do not want to let that be the case in this particular game. But overall, the way I broke down this one is what the Bears want to do. how we should attack it, and where we'll find success if we're going to have it. Okay? So, what the Bears want to do, they want to play coverage and just rush 4. They want to steal picks. They want to turn the ball over. That's how they live off of. You look at some of the stats in their defense, you're like, well, how the hell? Like, what? What's going on with them? Are they good? Are they not good? Like, what are they doing? There's some things that they'll live with because they're going to want to do other things. And they're very patient. There's one thing with this defense. They're a patient ass defense. They are watching the quarterback like a hawk. They want to make sure that they're going to screw you up to make some sort of mistake to just give the ball up, because that's how they've been living. You talk about the rushing attack, like all they try to do is survive the rushing attack without committing the numbers to it. They don't want to stack the box. They don't want to do this thing. They want to play coverage to try to get you to turn the ball over, which is why they allow 6.2 yards per carry. So if you got an offense, if you got a defense that's trying to stick to that, right? This being the ultimate patient game. We're waiting for you to fuck it up. We know you're going to fuck it up. We're just going to do this. We're going to lull you to sleep.
Yeah.
Cool. What that means on offense, do the same thing. Know what you need to do and be patient with it. Run the fucking football if they're letting you run the ball. There's no reason to get clever if they're just going to let you run the fucking ball. And that's, to me, what this game needs to be about above all else. Washington goes in this week with a surprising stat I don't think anybody really realized until this week, which we lead the league in rushing. Doesn't feel like that, but that's what's happening, right? And the reason it doesn't feel like that, I actually got to shout out Kevin Sheehan was talking about this, about how the time possession, I think we rank 20th or like in the 20s in time of possession, and yet first in rushing. Those two things don't necessarily compute in the right way. But when you start looking at some of them, we get a lot of chunk plays through the run, and that's sort of been the thing. I think in this game, at a minimum, 30 to 35 carries. I don't care who gets them, but you got to run the ball. If they're giving up 6.2 and we go in this with what Bill basically averaging 12 yards a carry, something stupid.
Something insane.
Just do that. Like, you just got to do that. And like all it's going to be is a chess game between who's going to blink first off of what they want to do. Because that's what Chicago's going to stay as long as they can in that base defense. And they're going to tell you, like, all right, if you want to run the ball on us, but we're here for you if you throw the ball. Get them to commit to the box. Get them to throw another guy. Gash these assholes for as many yards as you can get on the ground where they don't have a choice but to commit people to the box. And as soon as they do, play action, bomb, beat the fucking shit out of them. Like, that's what you got to do. You got to stay patient. You got to stay with it. Run the ball. And when they start doing that thing, when they like, all right, well, we got to do something with this. Beat them over the top. If you can stick to that map, if you can stick to that game plan, if you can be patient, if you can be methodical with it, you got some room to like beat the hell out of these dudes. You could really do it. But it to me, it's just who blinks first with who's trying to be more clever on what and who wants to get away from what their philosophical view is on that side of the ball before the other team does.
Yeah, and this is a team, K-Dot, that I think in our Commanders, of course, that is figuring out its identity and beginning to shape its identity around running the ball. Like you said, we lead the league in rushing, at least in terms of yards per carry. And it is something that looks like it can carry over with Jacory Croskey-Merritt's vision, Bill's vision over there. Chris Rodriguez, if he plays, has nice vision, and Jeremy McNichols spells them. So you don't need to overthink this game. The Bears, from a yards per carry perspective, just give it up. They are off their bye. Right. And you had also mentioned that it is an emotionally charged game, right? What happened last year? Caleb Williams coming back to DC again. Ben Johnson not wanting to work for basketball guys, then getting knocked out by said basketball guys. Now he's coaching Caleb Williams. You know he wants this win with Caleb specifically. So what do? Control the clock, right? If we're 20th in time of possession, let's up that in this one, because then all of a sudden you get a less jittery Jayden Daniels. You eliminate that risk by running the football. And so you want to be able to do that with Bill primarily, because I think he established himself as like the guy. And then if Chris is playing, give it to Chris, Jeremy, Debo, right? And Jayden himself can also do it. Because when I look at the passing numbers that Chicago's given up, they're pretty good. I mean, they had the game against Jared Goff where they gave up the 5 touchdowns, 334 yards, a 156 passer rating. Here are the other 3, K-Dot. It was J.J. McCarthy, 13 of 20, 2 passing touchdowns, 1 pick, 98.5 rating. All right. It was a good day for JJ.
Mm-hmm.
But then Dak Prescott, who is an MVP candidate right now, 31 of 40, which is great from a completion percentage standpoint, but only 250 yards.
Right.
A touchdown, 2 picks, gets sacked twice. And then Geno Smith, 14 to 21, good from a completion percentage perspective, but only 117 pass yards, 2 passing touchdowns, 3 picks, right? So, so that is where I go, let's get our yardage running the ball. They're probably going to give you stuff underneath. You can certainly take the shot. This is where if Terry or Noah is playing, that's huge.
Yeah.
But that is the game plan on this side of the ball. If we come out and just air it out, I'm going to be very disappointed. And I would just be like, we definitely overthought this game. Our identity is running the ball. And it looks like we're getting back to that. And shout out Chris Paul, by the way, who reading stats on him since he's taken over for Brandon Coleman, he's been nothing short of spectacular on this offensive line at that left guard position.
No, he's been great. Like to the point at which Cosmi comes back and I think it's like Coleman's got to maybe Coleman ends up being because the athleticism just a backup across any sort of line issue.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe that ends up being what it is. But you can't. Yeah, I'm not messing with this as far as like what Chris Paul is doing at this particular point in time. And I do think that you're going to see a lot of stuff on that offensive line. They're going to be able to dictate how this game goes. And you're right. They want to lull you into doing something stupid as far as throwing the football. You have to stick to what it is, the game plan. I go as far as to say you need to be stubborn when running the football. You've got to be stubborn about it. You just got to keep doing it. There's going to be space. Attack the edges. Attack that C gap. Their front line does not a great job with like some of the pin pull stuff. I do think you're going to have a lot of space if you get some of these guys out on the edge. You can whip some of these linemen around again to kind of get ahead of steam. And then the biggest thing that really, if you look at the table, look at the All-22, the thing that got me excited with John Bates being back and Ben Sinnott is when they're on the field at the same time. Boy, do they like punishing people. And when you got a defense that likes to play man the way that they want to play man, if you start looking at some of these run styles, you got a Benson and a John Bates kind of clearing the lane, they are going to knock those defensive backs on their asses. And you got a guy like Bill who's been able to look at these seams and be patient with these runs. You can eat. And the other person as far as in the run game, and we know when we looked at the All-22, less about the design runs, even though I still want to see them do that, but the Jayden Daniels piece of it all, they're pretty good against scrambling quarterbacks in the sense of the amount of times they'll allow you to scramble. But problem, they allow on quarterback scrambles over 11 yards per carry. None of those guys are Jayden Daniels. So, that is something that can absolutely punish them if Jayden picks his spots right on when to go. I think that this is an on-the-ground performance here. And I do think that you're going to have room. Same thing. Another thing I was looking at the All-22, and I kind of alluded to it, I think in the preview last week, is something that I want to see. The Ben Sinnott, John Bates connection as far as what's happening with the run game. I also tell you guys the Ben Sinnott, I did not see the stats on it. I didn't pull a stat on it from last week, so I don't know how it's changed, especially with John Bates being in the mix. But at one point with Ben Sinnott on the field, we ran 72% of the time. If we can get those two guys in the field and get into a play action game, I think that right there is going to be the deadliest thing this offense has ever put together. I really do think that's going to give them that'll be able to punish these guys. But look, man, they're going to play. What I'm doing is I'm lining up Debo on the outside, which is something that I never really thought I'd say going into the season. Whoever's playing off man, I think Jayden's got to know and Debo's got to know. Run your route a little more shallow. That's an automatic. Period. Yeah. Automatic. You do that. If they're playing off man, automatic. Debo, there it is. And take what the defense gives you through the air like that. We want to play close to get them close to the line of scrimmage to take the shots when we need to take the shots. Do not get lulled into taking shots when you don't need to take them. Be stubborn with the run.
Be stubborn with the run and hammering home that point. Javonte Williams for the Dallas Cowboys, 10 carries, 76 yards against this defense. Ashton Genty, who, if you guys have seen the viral clip of Baby Gruden talking about that offensive line, they can't do shit. Well, Ashton Genty, 21 carries, 138 yards and a touchdown against them. Not to mention 2 catches, 17 yards, a couple touchdowns there as well. So, you can absolutely feast on the ground. And one other piece, and this is a callback to last year, we got blue balled over and over and over again by these penalties on offense because we scored, I think, twice, and both were called back for penalties. So, it's discipline in this spot. Again, emotionally charged environment, but discipline in this spot. It led to one of the greatest moments, honestly, franchise history and recent franchise history with that Hail Mary. But it shouldn't have to come to that. That's why I introed with hopefully not, because we really should be able to control this game and not have it come to a moment like that. Any final thoughts here, K-Dot, before we move over to the Commanders' defense against Caleb Williams and the Bears' offense?
30 carries at a minimum. I want a lot of Bill this game. I want a lot of everybody in this game. I want you to pick your spots when you need to pick your spots. The only thing that anybody needs to watch out for, and you're going to be able to tell really early, is we're on a 2-game winning streak going into their bye. There is a chance, because of what's happening, that Ben Johnson's and everybody here to start switching shit up in this particular game. So if they start coming out like blitzing off the rip or whatever, just watch out for what it is that Cliff does to settle Jayden down, because that's not what they show. But after coming after a bye, when you got a team filling his head, do not be surprised if they throw a curveball.
Yeah. And with that, let's go ahead and flip the script, K-Dot, over to our Commanders' defense against Caleb Williams and this Bears offense. Now, this is not the same Caleb Williams that we saw last season, right? And so there was a lot to be made of Ben Johnson becoming the head coach, bringing his Brainiac scheme over there and making things a bit easier for Caleb Williams. And so far, in terms of sacks, it's going a whole lot better. He averaged 4 sacks a game last season, led the NFL with 68. Through 4 games, only 7, right? So that's just under 2 a game. So that's a whole lot better for him. He's using his legs a little bit more to extend the play, a bit more like his college self, and also taking off and running alongside it. And then you can see the passing touchdowns, 1, then 2, then 4, then back to 1. There is a degree of explosiveness there with Caleb. He seems to be growing in confidence. And like K-Dot had said, a 2-game win streak. So on this side of the ball, K-Dot, what are you looking to exploit and what are you worried about?
So it's getting them off what it is they want to do. And what do they want to do? So they live off of the Ben Johnson explosives. This is where his play design and everything is. I'll tell you right now, if it's second and short, if it's near the midfield, watch for some bullshit. Flea flicker, Statue of Liberty, whatever it is he wants to pull out. If you in second and short or in the mid or somewhere in the midfield, he's going to pull some bullshit. Okay? Watch out for that. I'll tell you, our secondary scares me as far as that goes. You guys got to stay disciplined and look at anything that Ben Johnson's done his entire career, because anything is a possibility in those sort of situations. He's going to live off that. I'm telling you right now, he thinks he's clever, and on that national stage, I'm going to show the basketball guys something. Let him regret his bullshit. Okay? If you stay sound, you'll be able to pick something off or get an opportunity. So make sure, above all else, look out for that trickery bullshit. It's a part of what it is they want to do. But more than anything, they want to do the explosive plays, right? They live in 12 personnel. They love the play action stuff. You've got to be sound in that. The communication's got to be crisp, and you guys got to play sound on defense. They want to make sure that they feature Rome Odunze. He's got a touchdown in every game. There's no reason to think you won't get a touchdown in this game.
It's true.
If you're looking at lines, it might be one you want to pick up. You gotta do not let Rome Odunze get going, because they're going to take their shots with him. That's going to be the guy that they're going to want to feature. They got other dudes that just haven't popped yet, right? Like, we know they got talent on that offense. It's just he's the only one that's really shined completely off the field right now throughout the course of the season. But there's a lot of other guys they got as far as some speeders dudes. With Burden dude,
Luther Burden,
DJ Moore, like they got
Zacchaeus. We're familiar with. He gets his targets.
Zacchaeus has been same thing that Zacchaeus was for us last year in the sense of being that safety valve. He has absolutely been that for Caleb Williams in certain aspects of this season. And then more than anything, I think the primary thing that they want to do is keep Caleb clean. And like they want to keep Caleb clean, because like here's what you see. It's the same thing I talk about the special sauce of the magic with Caleb Williams, right? His first read, if he can take it, he'll take it. And he's been great at that. He's been looking at the same thing I've been critical on Jayden on earlier on this season. Caleb does it. If the first read's there and it's open and he's on time and he's clean, he's taking that throw. Okay. If he's got to scramble, if he's got to make some shit happen with his legs and he's still looking downfield, he's going to burn you. What you need to do is have him go through his progressions. That's when it falls apart. If he's got to look at his first read, second read, third read and just be there, you're gonna start seeing him pat the football. You're gonna start seeing him getting the happy feet. It's not what he wants to do. It's just not what he wants to do. So what do you need to do? You need to play sound defense. The secondary, you cannot give him the easy looks. What you want is situations where he's looking for the dump off because he doesn't connect on them great. He fucks it up. He overthinks the thing. You want him to just look through the progressions and be like, oh, I guess I got to send it to the running back, but he doesn't want to send it to the running back. And what he'll do is hold on the football for too damn long, and that's when you get an opportunity to tee off on Caleb Williams.
Right. K-Dot, this was one of the most fascinating games to sort of prep for and study. And by that, I mean the targets are very consistent. Like the game plan seems to be very consistent for Caleb Williams. Here's what I mean by that. Olamide Zaccheaus is getting at least 5 targets a game. You wouldn't expect that with Rome Odunze and DJ Moore, and they draft Luther Burden, right? But it's Olamide Zaccheaus that's getting at least 5 targets. So expect to hear intended for Zaccheaus or caught by Zaccheaus on Monday night. Then you got DeAndre Swift, who's getting at least 3 to 4 targets per game without fail. That's that little dump off we talk about, right? He's not been too effective as a runner overall, but out of the backfield as a pass catcher, he's been pretty good. So like that's another person you could expect 3 to 4 targets for. And then Rome Odunze is their clear-cut number 1. I know we know about DJ Moore, but he not only, Rome, leads the team in targets, he leads the team in targets every single game. Like it is a consistent thing. It's not like, oh, DJ had a nice game here. No, it is literally Rome Odunze right now. They've drafted
Cole on the Odunze thing.
Go ahead.
He's been targeted over 40 times on third down. 40 shots to him on third down. He is everything. As far as the targets go, follow Rome.
Follow Rome. And also, now that they're coming off a bye, the one interesting thing to me is Colston Loveland, who I think has gotten off to a bit of a slow start, but they drafted him ahead of Ty Warren, who's doing a great job in Indianapolis, by the way. You don't think they want to get him going, especially off of a bye, running that 12 personnel? I mean, like, so it's going to be something that I'm very curious to see. K-Dot is Colston because he is more talented than Cole Kmet, who is also quite good in his own breath and right. Fascinating matchup, but there is a stunning level of consistency with this Bears offense that almost you can predict if you are at a point where DeAndre Swift has not touched the ball in the third quarter as a pass catcher. Start looking for it, because like that is sort of the thing that Joe Witt and this defense can play with from a schematic standpoint and from a strategic standpoint.
Yeah, all of that 100%. Like, look, man, there's just going to be some things the defense has to do on a fundamental standpoint. The front four needs to, like we've said every game, if the front four can get pressure with just them, we're in a good place. We do know, because based on the injury and everything, we have an opportunity as far as the right tackle. So look for that Dorrance Armstrong lining up and trying to take advantage of that thing. But what I need them to also do is you don't need to overrun anything. This is where this defense gets in a lot of issues sometimes, when everybody's kind of doing their own thing and trying to get down the field. Discipline. Do not let the gaps open up. Do not allow Caleb to start running out of the pocket or have to keep the cage.
Yeah.
Keep him caged in. You want him to have to play quarterback. And like in schedule, I look through my progressions quarterback. When you force him to do that, he doesn't do as well as when he has to do the magic shit.
Yeah.
Keep him in the cage.
And that's the thing. So people may not recognize how fast Caleb Williams is. You know, you see him in the pocket, you see him elude and stuff like that. But when he gets going, he's actually pretty damn quick. He's had at least 5 different rush attempts per game. 5 against Detroit, 5 against Dallas, but then he had 6 against Minnesota and scored. And then he had 8 against the Vegas Raiders. So they got pressure on him. It was only for 13 yards. That's going to be your Max Crosby, your Tyree Wilson. Like that's what you're looking to do as well. If he runs a lot, but that's contained, that the Vegas Raiders ended up doing. They only win that game by 1 point, right? So I'm curious to see, especially after Herbert busted that 46-yard run and it looked like we didn't really make an adjustment. These guys may use Caleb a lot more than you think. He may rush for 50 yards in this one. So you need to be able to contain him. Like you said, keep him in that cage. I think it was perfectly said, K-Dot.
If you don't, like, that's The other thing that is frustrating sometimes is that they do the design run stuff occasionally with Caleb, but like it is also what's most frustrating is how many times it looks like he's nearly sacked and then he breaks one. So like that's why you have to play disciplined. If you get guys that are over pursuing and the rush lanes and everything aren't there, and one guy misses the sack or misses the tackle, that's when he'll punish you. And like you have to play sound. This needs to be the most complete communication game, knowing your rules game. What are your bracket rules when it comes to Rona Dunze? You guys should know it. You guys should be like kismet. Okay, you should telepathy as far as what's happening with the Roma Dunze piece on it. Wagner, Luvu, McGee, if you're going to be involved, I look at all those guys and making sure that Caleb does not get going. And also don't let them get the rushing attack really established. That's something that kind of goes without saying.
And they're okay on it. And we've been very good on it. So may that hold, right? And typically when you run into matchups where unless you have any final thoughts here, Kate, we can go to the predictions.
Oh, we go.
Let's go ahead. Typically when you are able to run the ball and the other team is unable to run the ball, you're in a good starting spot. Right. So that's where we get into the Caleb Williams piece and him running, because that can generate a rushing attack for them. So as you can see over here with the predictions, the Commanders are 3-2 entering this game. The Chicago Bears 2-2, just fresh off their bye entering this game. So the line, Kate, I believe is 4.5. Yes, it is 4.5 points. Over under is 49.5 points. And so from you, as always, I need a score, I need a winner, and I need a player of the game.
We lean into what we've been good at the last few weeks, but we lean into it with intentionality. We run the ball, and Cliff stays in his lane. He knows what he's doing, and we take the shots when we need to. And the person who's probably going to get the most opportunities with those shots, I think, still is Deebo Samuel. Move the chains on a few of these first downs, some of the short game stuff. I'd be very, very happy if they can get the Ben Sinnott piece in this play action with him and John Bates on the field. That to me is something I'm going to be looking out for all season long, which is why I'll be betting on a Ben Sinnott touchdown every game this year.
Okay.
31-23 Commanders. Your player of the game is Deebo Samuel.
Okay. 31-23 Commanders, player of the game, Deebo Samuel from KDOT. I'm also thinking along the same lines as you. I have a Commanders win. I have us controlling the clock. I have us running the ball. I'll go with the obvious guy and Bill Croskey-Merritt being the player of the game. Bears give up 6 yards a carry. We average 6 yards a carry. Now, normally when that happens, somehow it's 10 carries for 20 yards and no one knows why. But I think Bill's vision is really good. I think the offensive line is playing really well right now. And Chicago, to me, that defensive line has not shown me enough to suggest that they can slow us down. So I've got us winning by a score of 28-24. I think it's a little bit closer than people think. Chicago barely covers that spread. But that's the way I see it going. I see us being able to score, not having those penalties that are taking us back. And I think maybe that last score for Chicago is in garbage time. So I think we end up having it be a pretty comfortable game on Monday night.
I'm hoping.
Yeah, here's hoping. And so with that, we're now going to go over to the comment mailbag featuring an intro from our very own Nikki.
Not in charge of programming. I don't know.
It is genuinely disturbing how accurate that looked like me on AI.
Did you have fun?
I wasn't there. It was AI.
Slumber party with JD Vance? Yeah. Like, that's what you did?
Comment mailbag time, motherfuckers. District divided, ain't got time for no suckers. Spread the word, get in line. OGs and new G's, it's your time. And spread the gospel, cause this shit is divine. Yeah.
All right, thank you as always for that intro, Nikki. Beginning with MF Quotes. Shout out, MF Quotes.
Yep.
At that 1938 mark, crying, laughing emojis. Motherfucker's the number one wide receiver. He absolutely loved that Deebo Samuel was named a wide receiver, directly quoting KDOT on that, and your reaction to it, sir.
Motherfucker's the number one. And what did I say in this game? I especially want to have him on the outside doing stuff in this one. Yeah, man, he's like that chip on his shoulder. I guess he was just bored in San Francisco and just too hurt. Because I'll tell you, I stand firm. I did not like what I saw last few times even with San Francisco. But No, he's proved me completely wrong. It looks like, yeah, he's absolutely stepped up, and I appreciate more than anything the way he's handled himself in stepping out with Terry McLaurin being out. Now, I knew that he would be the focal point in this offense. I just didn't know it would be to this extent. But what he's been able to do in shining without Noah Brown on the field, without these guys on the field, like that to me is cool. But Lord knows when we get a Noah or a Terry or both back on the field, I cannot wait for Debo to get in his true bag. And I just think if we lean on that more than anything, it could be something truly special. But he is absolutely doing more than I ever thought he would.
Yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. And honestly, K-Dot, just looking at the film from last season, there was plenty of reason not to believe that Deebo Samuel was the player he once was.
Right.
Him in a contract year here with maybe some new energy with a new team, new offensive coordinator that can find ways to get him the ball in space. So far, so good. Knock on wood. May that continue.
Yep.
As we go to MF quotes one more time. I'm cool off Noah Brown. Give me Terry, Debo, Luke, Lane, Tay, and then Brown. Get out your reaction to that one.
I mean, as at the end of the day, like even going into the season with it, does Noah Brown excite me? No, but he's a big body that can stretch the field. And what that means as far as in the offense allows other people to eat. So I'm never going to be in a stint where I'm like, forget Noah Brown. We ain't got that kind of depth. But am I more excited about Jaylen Lane and Luke McCaffrey and what it is they can do in this offense? Yeah. That's why I'm hyped. And I'm still waiting to see it fully come to fruition. I still think Jaylen Lane got some more opportunities out there on the field that could really, really do something. If we could take those shots, maybe this is the game. If they look at the play action and Jayden Daniels sees him burning down that field and he can hit him in stride, maybe this is what happens. Luke McCaffrey, you see little pieces of it as time goes on this season, him finding those spaces, find those lanes. That catch, man, I know that's ingrained in my brain going forward. They're going to get more opportunities, and I do appreciate that it seems like guys are stepping up without Noah Brown. But I think to say forget Noah Brown is forgetting what he is in size and doing on the field and what it can mean to the offense.
And how about what he did in literally this exact game last year? So hell of a time to drop that MF quotes on this one, this preview episode, which is where we were going to be reading it. I am not cool off of Noah Brown just yet. Give me more Noah Brown. I really like what he adds to this offense. Of course, I'm excited by the potential of Luke McCaffrey and Jaylen Lane. And honestly, Tay Martin was the guy that amongst the other wide receivers, we were like, we're probably just keeping 5. If we kept a 6-1, I wanted Tay Martin. So I'm glad that he's getting a little bit of run over here. Each time the ball's been thrown to him, he catches it. It was the simple stuff we talked previewing week 1 against the New England Patriots in the preseason was just catch the ball. You can go down. That's fine. Tay does that. So I just want to shout him out with his 1, maybe 2 catches per game so far. He's been doing his job. That's all you need. Catch the football. Catch the football. I mean, it was a great throw in the end zone. You get yourself a tutty.
He's always in great position. If he can just catch the ball.
Catch the ball. Catch the ball. And here's MF quotes again. I love the intro music to the All 22 review. Which, of course, is fantastic. K-Dot, you can play it now if you want to, or you can just comment on it. What do you think?
It's the All 22 review on District.
It's the All 22 review on District Divided. Bitches!
How much advertising y'all need to do for this?
I'm not advertising.
Jeez, y'all interrupting the comment mailbag now?
Yeah, it's truly unbelievable. Actually, on that whiteboard, I got a lot written on AI. I'm learning a whole lot about what you're doing with it, too. We go over to Coach Lombard. Shout out, Coach. Love hearing from you today, Coach. I was wrong about Debo, LMC, etc. too. At least I was right about Country Cover 3. We'll see if any of it is sustainable. It's a week-to-week league, but Dallas and Washington being scary in a season when Philly is still figuring shit out is not fun. Congrats on the win. That was 2 days ago. And then, of course, Jamal Bibichon Bonwe, I'm going to let you react to both here, K-Dot, goes, I think the luck fairy has finally left the Eagles sideline. This is after the game yesterday. Hurts now has not one, but 2 major nightmares in JD5 and JD6. It's go G-Man. K-Dot, your reaction to the 2 comments.
The Giants are so much fun right now.
They're a lot of fun. We talked about it.
Look, if it wasn't for the fact they're in a division, because I don't really look at the Giants as a rival necessarily, but it's like I got dated somebody who was a Giants fan. I don't give a shit. But God, would that have been my team to prove if I knew the Jackson Dart was going to be fun? Them white boys is crazy. Like
Dart and Scatavo together are
the two frat boys.
they are, but they're getting
Oh.
it done. They're getting it done.
All they need is some crazy ass white boy with tight end, and it's just that'd be perfection, right? It'd just be like if they could do it, they get like a Gronk type, it'd just be over. Yeah, look, man, I keep waiting for the bad times vibe to really make Philly pay for it because it's been that way for the last 2 or 3 years. The AJ Brown thing is a thing. Nick Sirianni's a dickhead. Like there are things happening in Philadelphia that should come to fruition where they lose shit. Thank you, Jalen Hurts, for being an idiot last night and doing dumb shit with the football.
Yeah, I mean, he also first off the tush push 4 plays in a row was insane. They missed a false start, per usual. And Jalen throwing the football when he actually has to throw the football, it's too inconsistent. Like the door is open. Like they did not look good at all. Now Jalen Carter was missing. It's got to be said. Quinyon Mitchell gets hurt during the game. There was a moment where Reed Blankenship, and Cooper DeJean were both banged up and spending some time on the sideline. So add context to it, of course. It's the New York Giants starting a rookie, a short week, and that's not sustainable either, by the way. The amount Jackson Dart's running. We were worried about Jayden last season.
Oh, neither of them.
Yeah.
Cam Scatabo is taking entirely too much punishment.
So you know what I did was I looked up when we're playing the Giants next. December 14th. Have your fun, Giants. Have your fun. Neither will be playing when we play against them December 14th. I mean, you want to take me on that? Like the likelihood.
No, I think you're what I say they're gonna burn bright.
Yeah.
And really strong. I thought it was over before it was over because of last week. It was like, all right, damn, ready. But I do think that there's a team that's gonna go on a bit of a run. And they're gonna be a team that nobody wants to play until it's later on in the season. The war of attrition starts just really getting to them.
It's also got to be said. Is there a New York Giants flu? We played the Giants. Next thing you know, we lose to Green Bay. I don't know. They seem to be beating people up.
Y'all do whatever y'all got to do. All I know is there's only one team undefeated in this division.
Big Papa Grizzly goes, in order for Capital Bill to continue to be effective, his share of the touches has to stay somewhere between 11 and 15. We've talked about this a whole lot, K-Dot. I could see him getting as high as 20 if the need arises, but he's more of a threat when you don't know who is getting the ball. Next season, I could see his role expanding to be a pure number 1 running back, but Cliff needs to keep doing what he's doing with the run game this season. Maybe his role expands in the playoffs. K-Dot, your thoughts there?
Yes, but like I said, there's a lot of things interesting as far as the run game goes, but I still want to draw everybody to that time of possession compared to the rushing attack number. There's still an intentionality that we need to continue to do with the running game that I think it could just be a little more forceful than it has been so far. What that looks like as far as the carry split, I'm not entirely sure. I like the idea of Bill around that 11-15 mark. Not your true bell cow, but like what, and I'm cool with 11-15 as far as just pure carries. And then you're looking at out the backfield as far as some of the touches out there. I'd even look at that. I could see his usage being a little increased in that aspect. But yeah, what makes this most deadly is having all these guys that are kind of Swiss Army knives and no one knows what's coming. Like that's what makes the offense. That's what makes the running game like truly sing.
Yeah. And my only hesitation with I could see that number getting as high as 20. Again, he didn't do that in college either. So I would, at least this year, have him in a committee. If he bulks up a little bit and it looks like he can handle 20 plus carries, sure. The idea of a pure number 1, I mean, at this point, you got to basically be Derrick Henry or Saquon. Like, you have to be so built, right? Especially your lower body. That
this is more of just a ride the hot hand sort of thing.
Yeah.
With a Bill thing, like if he gets to that 10 carry mark and you're looking at he's like averaging 8 yards a pop, then it's one of those things where it's like, all right, I'm not going to do this every week, but yeah, we're going to get the ball some more just because you're feeling it. And like that's what I'm saying. Is it like it's not a pitch count for the sake of a pitch count. It's you're trying to use them the most effectively with the other guys that are there. But sometimes I do think what Bill does, I think this is going to be a really good test of that because of what he's doing with the patient division and the way that Chicago plays. If he had 20 plus carries in this game and we won walking away, like I could totally understand. Is that what I want every week? No.
In keeping with playoff baseball's going on right now.
Yeah.
It feels like we sort of have a bullpen right? Like, you have the starter in Bill, but then you have Jeremy McNichols as a reliever. You have Chris Rodriguez as a closer. You got Deebo Samuel. You got Jayden sometimes that can give you an inning, or in this case, a couple carries here and there to be able to get you over that finish line.
Yeah.
So I see Bill as a starter in that, like, he's never going to go 7 innings, but he can go 5, and that's going to be your 11 to 15, which looks excellent. And once in a blue moon, does he need to get to 7? Sure. Does he even have a complete game? 25 carries one day? Sure. But you have to manage that type of player. And so that's the way I see it.
Sometimes you're pitching a no-hitter. Lead a man out there.
Leave him out there. Honestly, just ride the hot hand, like you said.
Leave a man out there.
We conclude with Earl Bruce. Shout out. Another great all 22 review show in the bag, guys. Now let's turn our attention to Monday Night Football and the Bears. I believe that the D-line will pressure Caleb Williams and shut down his run game. Furthermore, I think our offense, in particular, the run game will flourish. In the end, Washington 31, Chicago 17. What say you? And so again, you got our predictions. K-Dot 31-23, Deebo player of the game. Yep. You got mine, 28-24, Bill player of the game. So Earl Bruce has the largest margin of victory over there. Earl, hope you're right. That would be awesome. 31-17, cruising into first place in the NFC East. And then it's Dallas week. Oh, that would be absolutely incredible. K-Dot, your reaction?
Yeah, man. If we win this thing going away, like I need to see them sustain things 2 weeks in a row and do it at a high level for me to feel safe. And I don't feel safe yet.
Yeah. So anyway, that was the show. This was District Divided, a DC Sports podcast. More specifically, a Washington Commanders podcast. Thank you guys so much for listening. I am Amit. That is K-Dot. And if you enjoyed the episode, please like the video, subscribe, hit the notification bell, comment as you always do, and K-Dot.
I mean, do what the guy said earlier that looked like me, that flew out of ceiling. Who the fuck's in my house? I'm not home. I don't know what you guys in this network are doing, but I'm not a fan. Okay, and I'm not getting paid.
Not paying for any of these
to sell my
publicity.
Soul, okay? Here's where I draw the line. When I saw the email. Okay, I am not under any circumstances recording an advertisement for ICE recruitment.
Nope.
No, I'm not doing that.
That is all untrue. Absolutely untrue.
You see the melanin in our skins? We can't do that.
No, we're not doing that.
Share this stuff, man. Just share the podcast and don't allow your soul to be bought and sold by these corporations.
In DC, we're just hoping that you listen.